This exercise will help you complete homework 3B. You'll notice that this is similar to our make or buy analysis. Within this, we're trying to help Bob the Builder decide whether or not he should build or not build a construction property based on how much money he can make off of it. You'll notice that all of the assumptions are provided below. You'll notice I've also typed in each assumption in a specific cell in order for us to use an absolute value cell reference to refer to it later on. You will notice the formula provided for monthly rent was given to you as per room fee times number of rooms plus square foot fee times square footage. This gives us the answer for only one apartment rent. So we then need to multiply it by our number of apartments. So we start by using an absolute cell reference to our per room fee, which is referenced in cell E30. We then multiply this by E22, which in this case is the number of rooms for our one bedroom. We then need to add an absolute cell reference, again, this time to E31, which is our square foot fee. We multiply this by E19, which is our square footage for this particular apartment. We then need to multiply that by D22, which is our number of apartments. You'll notice an error message pop up. We need to close out our formula. If you did not see that, it added a closing parentheses to our formula. We drag this over to our other monthly rents, and now we have to modify the information there. You'll notice it kept our absolute cell references, but it changed our other three important pieces to areas which do not have information. So first we need to change F22 to E23 to represent our number of rooms. We need to change F19 to E20 to represent our square footage. And we need to change E22 to D23 to represent our number of apartments. You'll notice we now have our monthly rent. Now we need to change our 3-bedroom. We change G22 to E24, which represents the number of rooms for the 3-bedroom. We change G19 to E21, which represents our square footage, and we change F22 to D24, which provides us with the number of apartments. You'll notice how great it is to own property and be able to rent it. Look at these nice figures here. Now we need to calculate our monthly state rebate. Our assumptions tell us that if total size is greater than 13,000 square feet or the rooms is greater than 55, our rebate is $85, and else our rebate is $95. So we need to create what is called a nested function. We start with an if function. However, we put an or function within it. A or function within a if function. It is nested. We then need to check whether our square footage is greater than 13,000. Which you'll notice is here in E34. We also need to check whether E22, our number of rooms, is greater than 55, which you'll notice is an F34. We then close out our OR function. However, we now need to tell Excel what our value is if this is true. If it is true, $85. If it is false, $95. Make sure that when typing it out this way, you include your closing and opening quotes, or else there will be an issue. We close out our formula, and then we need to multiply it by D22. D22 represents our number of apartments, 50, 30, 10 associated with each. Let's go back to E34 and make it an absolute cell reference. Let's also do the same for F34 so that when we hit enter, we can drag this formula over to our other cells. When we drag this over, you'll notice we need to change information again. Instead of F19 here, we need to check E20. Instead of F22 here, we need to check E23. And instead of multiplying by E22, we need to check D23, our number of apartments. We now have to modify our 3-bedroom. Instead of G19, we need to check E21. Instead of G22, we need to check E24. And instead of multiplying by F22, we need to multiply by D24. You'll notice that the formula has now been modified to represent all the important information. Next, we need to calculate our monthly exercise room fees. You'll notice that it says $20 per tenant, even if the individuals do not use the specific exercise room. We have our $20 as an absolute cell reference available to us in cell E26. So let's compute E26 as an absolute cell reference times C22, which you will see is our 3 bedrooms, our 3 rooms within our 1 bedroom, times D22, which is our 50. This assumption we are having indicates that there is at least one person living in every room in these apartments. We now drag our formula over and we modify the information as we need to. For our 2-bedroom, we change D22 to C23, and we change E22 to D23. For our 3-bedroom, we change E22 to C24 and F22 to D24. You'll notice we've now calculated our monthly income for what Bob will receive once this building is created. It adds together our rent, our state rebate, and our exercise room fees. But now we need to build together and find what our cost is going to be. So our monthly loan payment to pay for construction information is provided within our table here. To save time, I will tell you that $875 for our 1-bedroom is found within the $260 range, of $701 to $999, and our $1,200 and $2,500 are within our $230 price range. So we use a formula within the financial section known as PMT, or payments. So we need to find our rate. Our rate is an absolute cell reference found in cell E35 of 4.5%. Our number of payments, we refer to the absolute cell value in F35, which you'll notice is 30. However, we're paying monthly, so we multiply this by 12 to get our 360. Our present value for this specific one bedroom is E19 times B40. When you click OK, you should get a negative number. You'll notice our monthly cost is now negative. In order to change this to determine how much we actually have cost, we add a negative sign in front of payment. This tells Excel to multiply the formula by -1. We hit enter. We now drag our formula over and we modify the other two as appropriate. We only need to change the last parameter for the present value. So for our 2-bedroom, it is now E20 times B41. And for our 3-bedroom, it is now E21 times B41. Our B40 and B41 are the prices found within that table in our assumptions below. Now we need to calculate our monthly taxes. It states that 7% is charged for the first $45,000 we earn on rent, and 7.85% for anything over the first $45,000 on rent. So our cell references are as follows. 7% is in D45, 7.85% is in F45, and 45,000 are in both E45 and G45 to help us more quickly compute our formula. So we need to reference one of our 45,000s and multiply this by our cell reference of 7%. We then need to add that to B2, our monthly rent, subtracted by our other absolute cell reference, where 50,000 is, and multiply this by our absolute cell reference of 7.85%. We close this formula out. We now have our monthly taxes. We drag our formula over, and now we need to edit our formulas. We go through, we notice that there's only one piece we need to edit here, but do we need to edit it? No. We have our monthly rent in C2. This formula is correct. And the same for our 3-bedroom. Next, we need to calculate our monthly maintenance. We're told that if the total square footage is greater than 25,000 and income is greater than 54,000, the cost is $3 per square foot Otherwise, it's $3.25 per square foot. There is a minimum charge of $45,000. If less than $45,000, you have to round up to $45,000. Within our cell references, we have $3 in G49, $3.25 in H49, 25,000 in E49, and 54,000 in F49. So again, we need to create a nested function. This time, since two things are possible, not one or the other, we need to embed an end function inside of an if function. So first we need to check whether E19 is greater than 25,000. So we reference our absolute cell reference where that is. We also need to check whether our monthly income is greater than 54,000. So we reference our absolute value where that is. So we close out our end function, but now we need to tell Excel what we produce if this is true. If it's true, we multiply E19 by G49, which is our $3 cell reference. If it's false, we multiply E19 by H49 absolute cell reference, which is our $3.25. We then close out our if function. We then need to drag our formulas over. You'll notice again, because we need to edit information within these formulas, that each of them have $0. So first we need to edit F19. This changes to E20. Our C5 is correct, but our F19 is not. F19 needs to be changed to E20. Again, F19 needs to be changed to E20. Our formula is now accurate for the second two-bedroom. Now we need to change our three-bedroom. You'll notice three instances of G19. All of them need to be changed to E21. E21, D5 is perfectly fine. G19 is changed to E21. G19 is changed to E21. Once you hit enter, you have your accurate information. So now we've computed our monthly cost and our monthly income. You'll then notice in the formula already provided for you, the monthly profit subtracts your monthly income from your monthly cost. In all instances, we have a great deal of profit provided to us. However, we now need to determine whether or not Bob the Builder should build. So we need to create an if function. So what do we need to check here? For our one bedroom, we want to see if B10 is greater than B9. We need to see if our profit is greater than our cost. So what do we do if this is true? We build. If this is false, we do not build. You'll notice when you type in the function arguments, when you click the formula, you do not have to add the quotes. They populate for you when you click out of that specific area. I do this when I type it in to get you in the habit of doing that. Once you click OK, you'll notice build because the profit is greater than the cost. We drag our formula through. However, you have to double check and make sure the formulas are correct. In this case, they are. C10 and C9 are our profit and our cost we are comparing. Same thing within our 3-bedroom. Now we need to determine which is the largest monthly profit available to us. That is merely asking us what the max is. So we type in our max formula and we select all 3 profits. We close our max formula, and before entering check, you should receive the 34 million response, and we do. Finally, we're asked to find the average monthly profit. So we utilize our average function. We again highlight all of our profits, and it will provide us the average of these 3 totals as such. For your homework, there is no necessary guarantee that all 3 will be billed, but make sure you go through and determine whether or not that is accurate.